Hello, everybody, and welcome to the BC Buckets Draft Instant Reaction Show. I'm Matthew Bruni, and joining me is Colin Mitchell. Colin, today we will be reacting to every single NBA draft pick, and first up is the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah.
Colin, we've done our deep dive on Victor Wembanyama already. Got a lot of Spurs fans in the comments, all excited. Spurs fans across the state, across the city of San Antonio, having watch parties. My dad's having a watch party.
Yeah.
It is a big moment, and they will be taking Victor Wembanyama here. We can do our analysis of Victor after the fact, but um, what are your thoughts on the Spurs getting this pick?
Getting Victor Wembanyama. Yeah,
Yeah,
they already
getting
picked
Victor
him without the
Wembanyama.
pick. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
listen, everyone knows that he's the best. There's a reason why there's watch parties. Pistons didn't have watch parties for Cade Cunningham. The Victor Wembanyama is a player you have watch parties for. I think that's all you need to know. There's not really a whole lot of analysis needed. I think the thing that we need to watch after they pick Victor is if they trade back into the draft and pick up. There's rumors that they might want to pick up his teammate Bilal Coulibaly, which would be very interesting, and I would also just be sick with how good the Spurs will be in a few years. But yeah,
Yeah, so the pick is already in, Colin, believe it or not.
wow.
Believe it or not. So we can turn the audio on over here. Um, like you said, it will be interesting to see if they do trade back in for a guard or I mean a player like Kobe Buffkin I would love, Jalen Hood-Schifino. They need a point
God,
guard.
I'd be so mad if you got Kobe Buffkin.
The hard part is this team needs a point guard, and most fans don't want Fred VanVleet. Definitely didn't want Chris Paul. So it's like, who in free agency or could you get? Who could you trade for potentially? Would you have to trade Keldon Johnson for a point guard? Those are the type of questions that Spurs fans are asking: is where do you get a point guard from?
Right.
And considering how much capital the Spurs have in the next 2, 3, 4 drafts, why not look to trade one of those picks or trade a few of those picks
Yeah.
to make move back into the first round here. Spurs
Right.
also have the 33rd pick and the 40th pick tonight, so we'll have to see what they do with that and if they're able to get back in the draft. Because all we heard the past 2 weeks was, "What is she doing?"
No idea.
But again, you trade those picks to get back in the first round if a Kobe Buffkin slides, if
Yeah.
Casey Wallace slides, even though he's
Case
not a
Wallace would
true
be very
point guard.
interesting.
I would love that pick. There's a lot of guard picks I would love here, but it'll be interesting to see how they fill that starting point guard role. We already know what Victor's going to come in and do. He's going to start at the 4 for them most likely. I can't see him starting at the 5 right off the bat, so they might need a center as well. But if nothing else, they now have their superstar, which every team needs.
Yeah. How fast? Just for fun, because all the Spurs fans might want to know how fast until you guys are back. Do you think? And by back, I mean you're 8 seed, or I guess 10 seed if you want to count playing.
Next year, I think it depends who the point guard is.
Yeah.
If they get a point guard that is legitimately not an all-star by any means, but I'm trying to think of a name off the top of my head that I could just throw out there. Like the Van Vliet one is interesting, but I just don't love him as a passer creator. He's more of a
Right.
scoring guard, obviously. Like I was gonna say Malcolm Brogdon. After all
He's
the
already
trade,
been moved
he's just
around.
yeah. But again, if you can get a guard, a starting point guard that can help, that is immediately playoff ready, let's say, you can compete for the 10 seed, I think,
Yeah.
next year. And obviously, that depends on Wembanyama's health, which, assuming that he stays healthy the entire year, the defense will take a massive step forward.
That's
That's
what I'm
where this.
excited to watch with
That's where it's gonna change
Sohan.
with the team. Yeah.
I feel like that's the thing that a lot of people are overlooking in this whole thing is how much better you guys are going to get defensively.
Yes, because if nothing else, we know about Victor Wembanyama is he will be an elite defender. If you could argue, like if you're picking sides of the ball he's better at, he's probably a better defensive player than offensive player right now.
Yeah.
Like he can
Which is
step in.
insane because he's taking 1-footed threes. But
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
And he's 7'5" and easily just scoring over people in the French league. But we're talking about a guy that averaged 3 blocks per game in that French league, where guys like Clint Capella and other guys that play in the NBA now, we're only averaging like 1.5 blocks per game.
Right.
Like he is a different type of defender here, and that's what Spurs fans I think might be overlooking or might not understand at this point is the defense side of the ball will immediately put them in contention to compete with fill in the blank of teams in that 10 to 12 range. I think
Right.
immediately. Now again, the point guard will decide a lot, and I'll be interested to see how they manage the center position next to him because I don't want to completely start him at center yet. He can play center in spurts, but ideally, I think you want him at the 4 next to a Keldon Johnson, next to a Devin Vassell, and so on and so forth. So here's the pick.
Scoot Henderson.
With the first pick in the 2023 NBA draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Victor Wembanyama.
Yep. It's not even. You don't even have to like celebrate because you knew what was happening. You celebrated the second you guys got the first overall pick.
Yeah, the celebration happened when they won the lottery. When the Spurs won the
Yeah.
lottery, that's what it was. Great moment. The Spurs now have their third number 1 overall pick, going from David Robinson to Tim Duncan to Victor Wembanyama.
Absolutely sick. Sickened. Sickened.
The dynasty continues.
Pop gonna live internally. Like until the Spurs are like dead as a franchise, he's just always gonna be there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable. We can watch him walk across the stage, but yeah, there's Bila Coulibaly right there, another future Spur.
Yeah, he said, "I'll see you later."
I'll see you in San Antonio.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, what a moment for San Antonio fans. I know the last 4 or 5 years have been tough for us, but we powered through. A couple play-in tournament losses, a couple bottomed out. Had the whole Primo situation, so we lost the 11th pick there. But now you get the number 1 pick, and like I said, the Spurs have loads of picks in the coming years that we will be interested to see how they move them, if they trade them. I honestly would be kind of surprised if they kept 2 second rounders in this draft. Like you could trade one of the second rounders if you wanted to.
It would be interesting if you guys traded back, and I know he can't start right away, but if you got like a Marcus Sasser.
Right? Yeah, or if he's there at 33, something like that.
Yeah,
they just need guards.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, Trey Jones ends up being a contributor. All right, let's shift on over here. We can give our thoughts. How's the audio? I can mute it. All right. Victor Wembanyama, real quick. What are your thoughts on Victor? Just obviously we've covered him before, but what's your analysis?
I mean, defensive freak. We already kind of went through it. Defensively, I think he has a lot more right away in the NBA. Obviously, he did a lot in the French league, but it's still the French league and it's not the NBA. I think he needs to put on a little bit more weight before, like you said, he can compete at the 5, and be the offensive type player he was in Europe. But I think defensively right away, you guys are. I mean, I don't know what you guys rated defensively last year in terms of defensive rating. Not good, but I think he automatically makes you top half at the very least second he steps on the court.
Yeah, 73% at the rim. The jumper's clean. The shot selection is the concern with him. Obviously, where he was in France, kind of just taking whatever shots he wanted. That's why he shot 28% from 3. Even still, 5 attempts per game from 3. The free throw is nice. 22 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks. Checks all the boxes there. As far as pro experience and excelling in pro experience and getting his team to the finals in the French league. I mean, I just think of when Luka came over here and everyone was like, oh, the competition level. It feels like there's no more questions about what the competition level is in Europe at this point. Like we're beyond that as NBA evaluators.
I agree.
Past that. So the defense is immediately going to translate. The base, obviously adding strength will help a lot, like you said. But I mean, the creativity is awesome. Like the way he can handle the ball is awesome. The passing, I think, can get better. He turns it over at times, but again, that's kind of him just trying to make plays and playing in a league with just grown men. So that will be the interesting part. But really excited. Anything else before we move on?
I think
this might be our last Spurs one, man. We might not trade.
You might not have another one.
Hey, congratulations, San Antonio Spurs fans. If they do trade back in, then we'll go to the second pick. But if not, we're back. We're back.